All right, everybody, welcome back to the Contractors of Colorado podcast. I'm your host, Cooper, and today we've got some special guests here with me. We're going to shine some light on a home improvement trend that's taken over the Front Range. So welcome. We've got Tom, Wade, and Nate. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
How are you?
Good to be here.
Good, cool. Let's start. Tom, owner of the company, Trimlight. You're also a master electrician, from my understanding, right? And you got into this space. Maybe start there. Like, what brought you into that field? And then we'll kind of get into the Trimlight aspect of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we own and operate Charisma Electric and Trimlight Denver. We've been doing this for 7 years along the Front Range here, the Trimlight permanent holiday lighting product. The Trimlight system is actually the largest brand in the nation when it comes to this industry. And they're also the original inventors. A couple of guys out of Salt Lake City that I've met personally. We got involved in 2019 and it's just grown a little bit every year since. So we've done hundreds upon thousands of homes, businesses, strip malls, fire stations, all types of projects, and come to realize how big the demand is and how important it is for people to need this product.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is the best way to describe it? Is it permanent holiday lighting? Is it home lighting? In your own words, like what is the best description of what Trimlight is for folks maybe unfamiliar with it?
I think the original, Trimlight started this idea 15 years ago in 2010, and the original idea was permanent Christmas lights, but it's kind of evolved into being much more than that because you can use it for much more than Christmas. Mm-hmm. And so I think the overall industry term has changed to permanent exterior lighting, mm-hmm. house-mounted or roof-line lighting.
Mm-hmm. Wade, when you're out in sales, right? You're communicating with customers, you're walking them through it. Talk to us about that. Like, is their initial, idea of it is all their holiday lighting, and then you're educating them, hey, like you could decorate for a Broncos game if you have a party over, it's Easter, it's whatever, Halloween. Like, walk me through, I guess, are you seeing a lot of the people's eyes kind of get changed by once they see maybe the full potential of what it could be?
Yeah, no, I think probably the biggest thing I see from customers going into this is the initial interest is, the holiday, like a permanent solution to, holiday lighting Christmas. But when I go in their home, I really lean heavily into this is more than just a holiday system, right? You can use it for security lighting, just to light up your home. And every customer I've talked to that ended up going with the Trimlight system, when I talk to them and I ask them, what's your favorite feature? Almost every one of them say just being able to just light up their home with security lighting. The holiday stuff is great. That's definitely a huge thing. But more times than not, they always say, like, my favorite feature is definitely just lighting up the home, just as that accent lighting, which looks awesome. So it's a lot more than just holiday lighting, that's what it started out as. And that's like a lot of people that reach out, that's their initial interest is, just they want a permanent solution because they're sick of climbing up ladders every winter, hanging up lights.
Yeah.
But the security feature and just the aesthetics of it is definitely, I would say, the top thing for people.
Yeah, they
realize, like, this is so cool just having our home just lit up. It just lights up everything great.
And then, look, your home is an investment, right? People spend $500,000, $1 million on a house. And the lighting of it can show off other aspects of what they've invested in their house, right? Their backyard patio, maybe the landscaping work. So it's not yet the lights itself also accent other features of the home that all comes together. And now it feels like it's a cohesive environment that they return home to and they feel comfortable, right?
Yeah, to touch on that a little bit too, I stopped by the guy's house yesterday. To just check on him. I was in his area, so I swung by. And I was asking him, what his favorite feature was on the system. And he has, everyone's home has, just like lights, just like around it for security. And he was saying, he's like, I don't even use my other lights here because when I just have the other lights on, then it's like spotty, it creates shadows. Mm-hmm. And he's like, my favorite feature with the Trimlight system is when he has the security lighting on, it creates no shadows. So it just is like an even light that just lights up around his home. And he said he loves it. He said his friends have come by, like the neighbors have come by and just, been like, dude, this looks really cool at night. Just being able to just have everything lit up and there's just no shadows. That was his big thing was he's like, I love it because there's no shadows. when I have my other lights on, it creates shadows, really dark shadows in parts that he didn't like. So that was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, and maybe we'll bring Nate into here, Nate. So maybe that comes into the installation side of things. Like when you're on the on the job site and you're installing it, what are some of the things you're looking at? Are you looking at where I'm going to put these? Walk me through maybe how the initial process goes of where. Because I think maybe some of the concerns that people might have is, okay, when the lights are off during the day, what does this look like? But that feeds into how the quality of your installation and where actually does it get installed onto the home.
Yeah, absolutely. The quality installation is incredibly important. So it gets installed on the in the soffit, butted up behind the back of the fascia board. So what you're gonna see is gonna do depending on how houses are built. Some people have 2 inches from the bottom of the fascia board to the top of the soffit. Some people have 1 inch. It's all a little different. So it's gonna kind of depend on how the quality of the home is, but just being precise, taking your time. In the old construction rule, always triple measure, and yeah, man, just doing it the right way the first time is really the biggest thing about having a clean quality install, and just communicating with the customers. Hey, this is where these are going. This is where it's gonna poke down or not poke down. Just that's generally the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention too, along those lines, one thing that we focus on rather than volume of projects is quality of installs. We would rather take our time and do every single project the correct way than try to, overbook our install teams and to rush the process to where our quality takes a hit. We don't want that to ever be a problem with the Trimlight system.
Is there a house that someone says, oh, I don't know if this can work on my house, or is that a misconception? It can work on every house generally, or like talk to me through like what maybe needs to be in place for them to consider this, if anything.
Yeah, that is a great question. With the Trimlight system, there are 6 to 8 different channel designs, aluminum channel designs. So depending on how your house is constructed, how your soffit is built, whether it's a vinyl soffit or a wood soffit or just a flush soffit, there are several different options that we can show the customer and come up with a solution that works for basically every type of building there is, even commercial buildings that have like just a flat parapet on top, and we have typically the bulbs will shine horizontally on those rather than vertically.
Okay. Let's talk about, because I know it's a smart technology world, right? We're all used to using apps and phones and different systems. How does this integrate with a home system? Does it have its own system? How does that process work for, hey, I want to switch the lights, I want to turn them off, I want to set timers on them, I want them to do different things? Walk me through what aspect of technology is involved with this lighting.
Absolutely. So the Trimlight system connects directly to your Wi-Fi in your home, and you can control the system from anywhere in the world as long as it is connected to that Wi-Fi connection. And there are a few other options as well. They do connect with the Control 4 home system. And there are several other integrations that are coming into fruition in the next few years, I imagine. And like I was saying in the beginning, Trimlight is the pioneer behind this product. So I'd say every 3 to 5 years, you will see a major improvement in the entire technology behind this, because it's kind of a new industry. This entire industry is only 15 years old.
It's the whole, yeah, I mean, it's still growing, still changing. I'm seeing it everywhere in my neighborhood, actually. Someone just got it installed. Wait, talk to me about someone's driving through a neighborhood like me. I saw it and I thought, oh, that's interesting. What would they do? Do they go to trimlightdenver.com? Like what would be the next step of if someone has seen this, they've heard of it, how would they get in contact with you, and how do they get you out onto their house to maybe walk them through the process?
Yeah, so I've always asked customers that when I talk to them, like, how did you hear about us? How did you come stumble upon us? The cool thing with Trimlight is we're the top rated. So anyone who searches up, everyone's on technology, everyone finds stuff that way. It's just online. So if you search up permanent lighting, we're the top company that pops up. So I've had a few people that say, I just was driving through, my neighbors have it, or I just noticed here and there is really cool. So they just searched up online, permanent lighting, and Trimlight pops one of the first things that pop up. But I think more important than just having our name out there, is when I show up to someone's home, a lot of them really don't have any idea what the product is. They just know that it's a permanent holiday lighting. So when I go into all the features, the smart technology that it can connect to their Alexa, their Google, all the different color changing, like it really blows them away. They're like, I had no idea it was this big. A lot of people haven't even heard of this. So that's the cool thing now, is being able to just show people something new and they love it. It's really cool.
So let's say I'm interested. You come over. It's a Tuesday, 3 p.m. My wife and I are interesting. You're guiding me through that process, or educate me. Do I get to see a rendering of it? Do I get to see past examples? And then let's say I'm like, cool, let's do it. What would happen next? Do I sign a quote and then we schedule an installation day, or kind of walk me through how that would look like?
So my favorite thing about selling this product is how easy it is to the whole process, from me showing up to you getting it installed. So if I show up, I run you through the product. I like to do a demo with you. So I'll show, you and the wife actual physical product. I'll plug it in. I have a little demo case I plug into the wall so I can show you the different types of track we offer, give you a visual of the product. You like everything, you want to go. It's as simple as me just sending the quote over to you, to your email or phone number, and then you can just click approve, and then you can click on whatever payment option you want to do the deposit. And then from there, it's as simple as us just ordering material. Takes about a few days, and then we just get you on the install calendar.
Okay. Tom, I'll throw you a little bit of a curveball here in the utility world. Like, homeowners look at this, their mind is like, okay, what does this cost every month? Does this add hundreds of dollars to my electric bill? Is it just pretty much like an appliance? Like, walk me through, is there any sort of metric or guideline that we can estimate what this will do to someone's electric bill?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the way we like to kind of describe that is, and I'll go back to kind of the design behind the system. The Trimlight system is a 12-volt DC system, so very minimal wattage. These bulbs use less than 1 watt each, and so the calculation on that typically comes out to like 3.5 to 4 amps for the entire house. And so if you were to calculate that over time, you could run your Trimlight system for an entire month at about the same cost that it would cost your electric bill to make a batch of cookies.
Oh, okay.
So very minimal.
Yeah.
Very minimal power consumption and very highly efficient.
Okay. Yeah. That's. I did not think that would be the case. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, because there's a concern a homeowner may have. All right. Well, then, cool. So let's say I'm a customer. I got it. Talk to Wade. Love it. Installation comes. What do I have to do, Nate? Do I have to have my house cleaned? Do I need to have my driveway clear? What all is involved in installation, and how long can I expect you guys to be on site to then I come home and now I've got beautiful lights on my home?
Yeah, the installation process is pretty smooth. You'll have to have your driveway cleared out if we're putting lights on your garage for sure. We're just gonna decide the location of where your box is gonna go. Typically put those in the garages, so depending on if you have a lot of stuff in your garage, you might have to move some stuff, but usually I do that. And it takes about 3, maybe 4 days, sometimes less. It just depends on what sections of the home we're doing, how long the install is going to take. But it's usually very quick, 2 to 4 days for most installs.
Pretty painless. Gotcha. What about HOAs? I used to sell artificial turf, and that was something that I had to navigate quite a bit, right? It was seeing the guidelines for either from the neighborhood or the city, the county. How does that factor in? Is there any information that you can have homeowners look at, or you guys have already checked it out, or how does that process factor in?
Yeah, so I was actually talking to a customer about this very thing yesterday. And the original idea when HOAs get questioned about this product is the customer wants to do permanent Christmas lights. And so originally HOAs bucked every request that came through because people were asking their own question, and also HOAs were not educated on the product. And so we've created a form and a brochure that we can show HOAs. We've actually been in several HOA board meetings and showed them the product and explained to them what it is. And in one instance, by the time we were done with the board meeting, they said, let's get it on 2 clubhouses and you're approved in the community. And so
Yeah.
a lot of it is educating people. And I think most, if not all, HOAs in the next 5 years will be on board with this product.
Yeah. I think if anything, they may require that versus maybe, a homeowner rigging up their own Christmas lights that, hey, maybe it looks all right, but like, hey, this is professionally installed. It actually adds value to the communities. Homes are well lit. This is a professional product. There's an aspect of professionalism to it. So I could even see it maybe leaning into it even more where it's like, hey, if you're going to get lighting done, it's got to be done by a professional. And, that way it looks good for the community.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest factor that people should push with their HOA is safety. Safety is a big factor behind this product because that's the overall idea when people are contacting us is, number one, especially elderly people that live in these, senior communities, 55 plus. I do not want to see those types of people on ladders ever again. And that's what we're here for, is to take that hassle away from them. We're here to do the heavy lifting and get up there and get these lights on.
Yeah. No, it's huge. Like climbing a ladder, fall off a roof, navigating it, like that's some liability for sure. And it's like, let the professionals do it that, Nate leading installation here of like doing it the right way. Safety's huge. But it's not just residential, right? So it's commercial and residential. So what are some of the other use cases of this, maybe in more of a commercial setting than just homeowners?
That's a great question. We've done several municipal buildings. It includes town halls, fire stations. We actually did the Adams County Fairgrounds area, 9 buildings included. And, a lot of these facilities, and even on a commercial facility or a municipality government type of thing, every year these types of entities are paying high dollar in labor to have people spend days and weeks hanging lights. And so take that liability off their plate, hire a professional company, and a system that has a lifetime product warranty, which is a huge thing for us.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. So the warranty, if someone is comparing, trying to look at different options, what is the warranty of this? If, Colorado has extreme weather, we've got heat, we've got freezing, we've got wind, and then just the technical element of the warranty, what does that look like and what can they expect from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Trimlight system is designed, it's an aluminum channel with like a baked on paint, not considered powder coat, but it is actually the same material that gutter companies use. And so the channel will last 40 to 50 years, and the bulbs are manufactured with watertight seals. And so all of our connections that we do at Trimlight are watertight. We don't make any connections that are not watertight for longevity, durability, and the warranty with the Trimlight system has a lifetime product warranty, which is the lifetime of the system, 55,000 watt hours. And so if you were to run your system constantly, it would be about 8 to 10 years. Now, if you were to turn them off during the day, like you should, this could last 25 to 30 years.
Okay.
And so the good thing is you can set it up on timers to where you're not going to leave it on all day, obviously, for the longevity of your system. And then you can get that 25 to 30 year lifespan out of this.
Interesting. Okay. So we just did actually a fun shoot with a Broncos linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. Wade, walk me through that. How did that come about? And then how was that process working with him?
That was really fun. It was a surprise, when he reached out and we were able to get his system up. We contacted him to do a shoot, and he was more than willing to testify on our product, because he loved it. So when we showed up, he came out, he put on that Trimlight hat. It was really cool. We just kind of talked about, the Broncos re-signing him. And then he was just telling us a little bit about how he originally got into it. So fun story with him, we actually installed his parents' home. So that's kind of how he got introduced into us. And when they were doing research, his wife, was doing a lot of research online, different companies, and ultimately they had us come out to give them a presentation, and we just knocked it out of the park. He loved it. We had his system installed within a week, and he just had nothing good to say about it. So that was a really cool experience to work with him.
That is cool. And let's talk about, some people I think could be intimidated by, hey, how much does this cost? Is my home, does it have to be a luxury home, right? Does it have to be XYZ? When you walk through a process, what does impact price? Is it just the linear feet worth of lights? Are there other upgrades? Are there other things that you can customize and make it so then they're not just a one package, this is it, that's, you know, that's done and done? Like, walk me through the homeowners maybe, or businesses that are trying to wonder how much does this cost? What should I be, you know, expecting, and how can I maybe modify that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Probably the number one thing when it comes to the Trimlight product is most people really don't have any idea of what it costs, right? They just see it around and it piques their interest. And so when I go into the home, I really like to explain what the product is, you know, why it costs what it does. Because I always tell people this ain't a cheap, like, temporary product that you throw up, right? People have been doing that for years, just buying cheap lights, throwing them up, have to take them down. This is a investment that you're putting into your home. You know, it's something that's going to be on your home for the next 50, 60 years, right? So cost-wise, it's a lot cheaper than you would think once you look at the product with the lifetime product warranty, all the features it can do. If you are interested in just getting like a ballpark area, which a lot of people reach out and they're just like, we have no idea what it costs, we just kind of want to get an idea. It does. There's some factors that factor into the price. A few things that would make the price change would be, you know, the levels of the home. So if it's a multi-level home and there's a lot of angles, a lot of transitions, then the price would be a little bit more. But if it's just like a straight single-story home, it's a little cheaper. But with all the options that we offer, you know, it's like we do financing, and it's a really easy process. Honestly, we haven't had a lot of people complain about the price, just because it pays for itself within 3 years. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're buying lights and putting them up, you got to pay for people to do that. Most people just pay someone to come out and hang up lights, and then you got to pay for them to take them down. So the system really pays for itself, you know, within a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, it's like anything in life. If you looking for the cheapest option, you're going to get a cheap option, and it's not going to be maybe what you expect, right? So it's, if you have a quality product that's going to last, it makes sense.
Yeah, you know, you pay for what you get.
Yeah. And I was going to say something along those lines, as well as we've gone in the last 2 or 3 years and replaced entire other systems that, you know, someone reached out to us 3 or 4 years ago. It was a little more expensive than they anticipated, and then they ended up buying something on Amazon. They put it up themselves with double stick tape and, you know, that type of a system. And then a year and a half later, the system started to fall down. They lost connection. The wires were not UV rated, exposed to sunlight. The plastic on the bulb started breaking down. A lot of those things that the Trimlight system fixes. Like, all of our system is UV rated, sunlight resistant. All of our connections are watertight. Our actual wire is UV resistant. And so this system is literally designed for longevity. And that is why we are the only company in the industry to offer the lifetime product warranty.
Yeah, especially in a market like Colorado, with the elements of, like, it's going to be 90 degrees in March here, that we could still have snow, we could still have a lot of elements and wind. It just ties back to I think the installation piece of it. What is, like, the timeline? And maybe this is a question for anybody who wants to take it. Like, you know, if somebody is considering it, how quickly can we move? Can we get them on the calendar in a week from now? If they wait until the 2 days before Christmas, obviously things are hectic. Like, when should people be thinking about it? And then what's a realistic expectation of when you guys can get out and get it installed?
Yeah, so typically our schedule is 3 to 4 weeks out.
Okay.
And sometimes we can bring it in closer, depending on weather. Sometimes, which is very rare, you know, if there's a large snowstorm or something, then it has to slide out a few days, but that's pretty rare. So normally we can get you taken care of within that 3 to 4 week time span.
Okay. The same thing for business owners that are wanting to make, maybe this is like a CapEx investment in their process. Do you come out, similar process to the residential? You sit down, work with maybe the property manager, the owner, kind of walk them through. Is that generally how it goes as well for commercial spaces?
Yes.
Okay. Let's, so yeah, trimlightdenver.com. If you're interested and you're watching this, go to trimlightdenver.com and you'll check it out and reach out to these guys here. What is, like, what's the plan, like, the future of this? Do you think, like you mentioned, Tom, it's an evolving thing? Is there any other aspects that you're keeping an eye on, either it's technology-wise or new applications, or maybe new use cases of it? Wade, has anybody asked you anything that's like, oh, that's interesting, maybe, it's coming out or something in that regard? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few people ask me that question of like, like technology only gets better. So, and if like, what does this look like in a few years? The cool thing with Trimlight systems is when they come out with new features, and updated software, we can just automatically update the current system they have. It'll just update in their system, and then if they already have a Trimlight system and Trimlight comes out with new stuff and they want it, it's as simple as us just coming out and updating their system.
yeah, so they don't have to fully redo it. It's just like an update, like,
Yeah, but we can just update the box, update the software, and then they'll have all the new features.
gotcha. On installation day, walk me through maybe a little bit of some of the product that we kind of hit on it. Do they have to have their garage cleaned? Do homeowners need to be home during the installation? Do you prefer them to be home, or do you guys show up and do your thing? How does that normally kind of your interaction with the homeowner as it's going up?
Yeah, absolutely. Homeowners don't have to be home. I prefer them to be home just because I can communicate with them right then and there. But they don't have to be. We can communicate whenever I reach out to them before the install ever happens, and I'll walk them through the process. Hey, this is what I'm going to need access to. I might need to get into your attic. Where did you want this to be? What times work better for you? If they do want to be home, because a lot of times homeowners do like to be home for it. They're curious. They just want to kind of watch you do it and see what's going on. But there's also a lot of homeowners who are busy and they don't have time to be there. So it really just depends on the homeowner, but we'll make it work regardless.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing along those lines too is typically if it's a large project, then what we can do is set you up for the first day. If you can be home, we'll get all the inside work done, all the attic work, all the garage work, get all that done the first day. That way, if you need to go back to work or leave town, you can actually close up the house, lock the house, and 90% of this time involved with installing this system is on the exterior of the home.
Okay.
To touch a little bit about the installation process, one of the biggest concerns I think homeowners get when they're looking into this product, if I recommend if you're looking into getting a lighting system, I would definitely recommend having someone come out and just do a demo with you. And why that's important is a lot of homeowners, when they do research or they just talk to people, a big concern is I don't want wires running, up my house or across my roof, So with Trimlight systems, we do absolutely no exposed wire. So any transition from a lower eave to an upper eave is either going to transition through the attic or through the eave. And if we do have to run up the side of the home, if there is no attic, we use what's called a wire cover, which is just a really thin cover that the wire goes in. That's just called a mesh to your home. And we usually will run that up behind the gutter to transition if we have to run outside on the home. So if you're interested in doing it, I would recommend just having us come out, just because it's a lot easier to give you a visual of what's going to actually happen. Because that was a big concern. A lot of people were like, it sounds cool, but like, what's the process? Like, I've heard people say we have, there's wires ran across our roof. It's visible. That's the whole point of this, is to get away from the ugliness of Christmas lights in the daytime, where you just have strings and wires and it's, extension cords. This product is practically invisible in the daytime. So you can't tell it's there. And then at night, it just completely transitions your home. So
Yeah, I was going to mention too along those lines, like I was saying in the beginning, Trimlight invented this whole system about 15 years ago. Obviously, there's been updates, there's been new technology coming out. But I'd say in the last 5 and 6 years, there's been a lot of like Amazon online competition and some of those. And so we come into some of these neighborhoods to, fulfill a request that someone put in to have us come out. And sometimes we'll look around and their neighbors had some cheesy Amazon product put up. And so the expectation might be, well, maybe the Trimlight system is that or something else. So the education behind what we're trying to do and put out to the public is these are not cheap systems. They're affordable, but they're not cheap, if that makes sense. They're not something that you're going to have to rebuy on Amazon every 2 years. And, you know, it doesn't look tacky. A lot of these other systems that we're seeing, and like I was saying, a lot of these new brands, they're literally trying to play catch up with Trimlight because they can't capture what we've done. And the Trimlight system is a patented system.
Okay.
And so they can play catch up all they want, but then they'll never be able to capture the design quality and the install quality that Trimlight has to offer.
What about other businesses like landscapers, gutter, roofers? Like we have a lot of folks in our community. If you're watching right now on our YouTube or you're inside of our Facebook channel, that maybe like they're all in the house, they're doing work, but they know they can't do this. Do you guys ever partner with other businesses to say, hey, we'll do the lighting work, we'll do our thing, and we'll complement the other aspects of the work that you're doing, whether it is gutters or roofing or other landscape work? If so, is that something that you guys are open to, is being a consultant to these businesses that maybe they're not trying to compete with you head to head and do the lighting, but they want to take care of their client, and then they can form a solid partnership with you guys?
Absolutely. That is definitely something we have done in the past and continue to do on a yearly basis, and we will definitely be open to that as well. You know, if there's gutter companies that are getting interest in this type of product and they don't have a lighting brand behind them, or if they just want to, you know, have somebody out there to take care of it for their customers, we're definitely happy to take care of that for them.
Awesome. Well, guys, I mean, thank you. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything way that you could think of as you know, we're in the middle of March now, headed into the maybe busy season. Is there anything that you want homeowners, businesses to know? How do they reach out to you? How do they get on your calendar? And I think you've kind of walked them through that process, but yeah, let me know if there's anything like that.
Yeah. I think, you know, if you're a business owner, a homeowner, and you're looking at getting a lighting system, you can just search us up on Google, Facebook, YouTube, any of the social media platforms at Trimlight Denver. Just give me a call, have it come out. The biggest thing with this is it's such a fast process. You know, a lot of people are busy. You know, people are running their business. They get home, they don't have a lot of time to sit and talk about something. So when I come out, the duration of my visit is typically 20 to 30 minutes. Super fast. I can show you the product. If you are looking into lighting systems and you are wondering which is the best company, definitely look us up, because Trimlight Denver we're the only company who offers multiple different types of track and different types of bulb. Most lighting companies just have one product and that's it. We offer 2 different styles, 2 different bulbs. We have a puck style bulb, which has 3 individual bulbs in there. That's brighter, or it's not brighter, but it's a little bit bigger and it just shines a little bit different. And then we have a traditional bulb, which is just a little bit smaller single bulb. It's the same bright and it still has the 3 bulbs, but it shines a little bit different. So we're the only company who offers multiple different tracks and lights to just fit your home. So if you're interested, just, you know, reach out to us, give me a call, and we'd love to give you a free quote.
Awesome. Tom, what are you most excited about 2026? I know you've been growing this brand, you've been adding to the team. What are you most excited about?
Yeah, 2026, I think it's going to be a great year for homeowners to get this up on their house. The interest, the demand behind this idea and this brand especially is just overwhelming for us, you know. And the biggest thing for us, we like to see people have joy on their faces when we pull away and they're got their phone out, changing out the colors, and they're just happy with that lifetime product warranty.
Awesome.
I did want to touch on one thing about the warranty with the systems. Is a lot of homeowners, if you're at home, you know, and you're doing research on lights, what lifetime product warranty means, and Tom touched on this, is I've had a lot of customers when I go in, they say, hey, I've seen on your website, or I've seen on Trimlight Denver's website that you guys have a lifetime product warranty. What that is, and you mentioned this too, it's the 55,000 hours of use for the system. So converted into time, if you use 8 hours a day, which most people do at night, that's about 15 to 25 years. So I just wanted to clarify on that. If you're looking at lighting systems, our warranty is 55,000 hours, which is the highest out there by far out of all the lighting companies.
Yeah, so 2 years later, they're not going to have to upgrade this and replace it. Or
I don't know about you, but if I'm going to spend a good amount of money on a lighting system. I want a guarantee that it's going to last for, a decent amount of time. So if I spend a bunch of money on some lights, but then 2 years later something goes wrong and I have to pay to fix it, I'm not going to be too happy. So
Yeah.
Trimlight systems take care of that. You don't have to worry about that. Once it's up, you're good for the next 25 years. You don't have to worry about ever dealing with lights again. So
Awesome. Well, hey guys, you heard it here. Go to trimlightdenver.com. Thank you for watching, whether you're on social media or our YouTube channel. This is the Contractors of Colorado podcast. This is what we do. We support blue collar trade businesses. We're based here in Lone Tree, Colorado, and we can help your business in many ways, being a part of the community, working with you, elevating your business. So go to contractorsofcolorado.com if you're interested in learning more about what we do as an organization, and then trimlightdenver.com. Check these guys out. Reach out to Wade, reach out to Tom. You'll see Nathan here on your installation once you get booked with these guys. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.